All right. Hello, everyone. My name is Lisa Johnson, and I'm the Assistant Dean for International Study on campus. And I have the great pleasure of working with students who want to get off campus for a semester, a year, or maybe even a summer or January term. And I work very closely with my colleagues here in the French department and the biology department and sociology department. And with our esteemed colleague Marie-Madeleine, who was with us in Paris today. And then who wants to go next?
Well, I can go next. So hi everyone, I'm Camille Washington-Oton. I'm a faculty in the Environmental Science and Policy program, and I'm really glad to see you today because I will be directing the JYA program next year. I know that Lisa just told you to that you could turn off your video, but if you can turn them on, that would be so great. So actually we can feel closer together. Thank you so much. And so we have many of us here who are involved with the Paris program, and thank you to those of you for being here right now. So I thought, as Lisa suggested, maybe we can do introductions. I thought maybe students also could introduce themselves briefly. There are not that many of us, so let's do that. We can say a little bit about, your name, pronouns, if you're comfortable sharing them, and then why you're interested in the JYA program. But maybe let's start first with faculty and staff. Marie-Madeleine, do you want to go next?
Yes. So I am Marie-Madeleine Charlier. I am the administrative director, and I take care of your life in Paris, which is housing, cultural excursions, cultural programming, outing, everything you can think of, but academics. So I don't take care of the academic director. This is the job of the academic director. So there's two heads, the academic director and the administrative director.
Thank you. Rob, do you want to go next? I'm looking at my screen, so I know it will move differently on your screen.
So I'm Rob Dorrit. I am a professor in the biology department, and I've directed the Paris program 3 times now. And I'm also one of the folks who will help you with the Sciences à Paris program if you decide to choose that option.
Martine, you're next on my screen.
Okay, I'm Martine Gantrel. I directed the program twice before, and it's just such a pleasure to see old colleagues and see the students who are interested in the program. So I'm going to have to leave soon as I'm just writing in the chat. So I say goodbye to everybody, but enjoy the presentation. I know it's a very interesting one. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, Martine. Bye. Leslie, do you want to go next?
Sure, I'll go next. My name is Leslie King, and I am a professor in the sociology department and also, like Camille, in the environmental science and policy program. And I was the academic director, the faculty director in Paris this past year. So.
Thank you, Leslie. Mohammed, do you want to go next?
Hi, everybody. I'm Mohammed Mak. I directed the program all of one time in 2018 and 2019. I am the study abroad point person for the French department and the SWAG department. And I'm on campus this semester, but next semester I'll be on sabbatical and there'll be a new Paris advisor for the French department and the SWAG department. But yeah, I'm really happy to see everyone here. Directing the Paris program is an experience that brings warmth and happiness to the heart.
Thank you, and thank you for all the past directors for being here. This is really amazing.
It's a testament to how much we love the program.
And each other.
And each other.
All right, so so if you're comfortable saying a few words about yourself, introducing yourself, and let us know why you're interested in the program. So if that's okay, I'm going to go by who, how people appear on my screen. So Yulia, you actually are first on my screen. Do you want to get us started?
Sure. My name is Yulia. I'm a sophomore. I use she, her pronouns. What else? I'm majoring in biochemistry and music. And I've been taking French for more years than I can remember off the top of my head, since middle school. So I would really, I think probably my main reason for wanting to go to Paris, other than just Paris is such a cool city, who wouldn't want to go, is to kind of like take that next step in learning in terms of immersion. And also because I'm really interested in French art and French music. And I think it would be a wonderful opportunity to dive into those.
Thank you, Julia. Anna?
Hi everyone, I'm Anna. I use she, her pronouns. I'm studying French and psychology. And I, as Julia said, I've been studying French in school for a long time, and I would love to take that next step and be immersed in both the language and the culture.
Thank you, Anna. So Yoon, I don't know if I'm pronouncing your name correctly.
That's correct. Hi, my name is Sohyun. I'm a sophomore and I just declared my major as chemistry. So yeah.
Right.
I've been studying French when I came to Smith, so this is my second year learning French. And I am really interested in Paris, study abroad in Paris, especially the science program, since I think it's like really unique to learn science in a different perspective, especially in a different country with a different culture. So that's why.
Thank you. Thank you. Linnea, do you want to go next?
Yeah. Hi, I'm Linnea. I'm a sophomore engineering major. And yeah, I just think it would be really fun to go to Paris.
All right, thank you. Emily?
Hi, I'm Emily. I'm a first year. I use she, her pronouns. And yeah, I think I got to do like a short exchange in high school, and it was really rewarding to like use my French like that. And so I want to improve my French and like live, I don't know, have that experience of living in French.
Thank you, thank you. Serena, do you want to go next?
Yeah, hi, my name is Serena. I'm a sophomore, and I've just declared my major as government. And so I was definitely interested in looking at Geneva, but after my advisor, Janie Bempay, just sort of talked about the French program, I was really interested in Paris and what it had to offer, and sort of getting that perspective would be really interesting. So I'm very excited to see.
All right, thank you. Sophia, hi. Sophia's in my class. Hi, Sophia. No one cares, but do you want to go next?
Yeah, my name is Sophia and I use she, her pronouns. I'm a junior and I was supposed to go to Paris this fall actually, but that's okay. I'm hoping to go my senior year. I study economics and French, and like the others said, I think there's no better way to learn French than to immerse yourself in the culture, and somewhere I've always wanted to go. I've never been to Europe before. I just think it would be like such a teaching and rewarding experience.
Thank you, Sophia. Sophie, do you want to go next?
Hi, I'm Sophie. I'm also a junior. I was also supposed to go, so I'm reapplying. But I'm excited.
All right, thank you. Danielle?
Hi, I'm Danielle. I use she, her pronouns, and I'm a sophomore, and I'm a government major, and I'm interested in the Paris program because I want to study at Sciences Po, and also because I know that the program is very intentional about creating opportunities to like experience French culture and see French art and everything. So, yeah.
Thank you, Danielle. Jessica, do you want to go next?
Hi, I'm Jessica. I'm a sophomore. Like others have said, I want to be immersed in the French language and culture because I really love French language and culture.
All right, thank you. Sasha?
Hi, I'm Sasha. I'm a sophomore from Canada, and I'm a double major in computer science and data science. And I'm really interested in the Paris program because I kind of want to live up to the Canadian stereotype of like being fluent in French as well. And I've also never been to Western Europe, so would love to visit.
Right. Marie-Madeleine is Canadian, actually. So you will not be the only Canadian.
Oh, perfect.
All right. Grayson, do you want to go next?
Yeah, hi, I'm Grayson. I use she, her pronouns. I'm a sophomore art history major and landscape studies minor, so I'm particularly interested in the Val d'Isère option. And yeah, like many have said, I've been taking French for many years in school and have always wanted to study abroad in France. And yeah, just think it would be an amazing opportunity.
Thank you, Grayson. Sue Tan, I'm not sure I'm pronouncing your name correctly.
Yeah, that's right. You can also call me Grace. I'm a sophomore. I use she, her pronouns. I'm planning to major in government and something else I'm not sure of yet. I'm really interested in the Paris program, and I also really love architecture. So even if I don't end up majoring in it, I still want to explore French architecture.
All right, thank you. And Ashley.
Hi, I'm Ashley. I'm a sophomore and I'm a French major, also planning on minoring in landscape studies. And I've always wanted to study abroad, and I think the Paris program is really unique because spending a whole year abroad would really sort of change your look on the world.
Thank you, and what a great word to conclude this introduction. I've just taken some notes about what you've said, and many of you have talked about wanting to learn French better and practice your French, and I think it's an obvious goal of the program. But you also talked about how rewarding it can be, taking the next step, seeing new opportunities, and how unique it is. And I think this is how I and also we perceive the program, that you will come back a different person, someone who will have been transformed by this experience, and I think in a great way. And that's why I think we're all so excited about the JYA in Paris. All right, so I have a short presentation that Rob and I are going to give you, and so I'm going to share my screen with you. All right, are you able to see my screen? Yes, perfect. Okay, so what I would like to cover in this presentation, and please feel free to ask questions. I cannot see, yes, I think I can see all of you on my screen. So you're welcome to raise your hand or use the hand raising tool if I don't see you. And there will definitely be time for Q&A in the end, but if you feel like you have a burning question, just interrupt me. So we're going to talk about living and studying in Paris. We're going to talk about the JYA in Paris, and then there will be a special section about les sciences à Paris. Marie-Madeleine, actually, do you want to take this section about living and studying in Paris? Because Marie-Madeleine will be the main person you'll be talking to about your living situation. Is that okay, or I can do it, Marie-Madeleine? It's up to you. I can hear you.
Okay, well, we can do it, and if you have some question, people can ask me some question after that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect, thank you. We hadn't discussed that before. So generally, you are housed with a French famille d'accueil, a host family, which allow you to be completely immersed in the French life from day one. They are families that we've been working with for many years, that we trust, and who've been doing a really great job in the past. They live in different places in Paris, but they are always within the city walls. And there are a number of different configurations, and we'll work with you to make sure that you're placed in a family that works best for you. That could be single parents to family with small children. We also have a chambre de bonne. You can see a picture of on the right of a chambre de bonne under Paris's roof. And something that we are currently working on, given the current situation, is we're establishing different protocols according to that will where we would adapt differently according to the health and the situation of the virus. So be sure that we're doing our very best to offer an experience that will be as safe as possible. And Marie-Madeleine and I, especially Marie-Madeleine, is working really hard to put in place different protocols that will adapt to different scenarios, and we will update you regularly on such protocols. For instance, one thing that we're envisioning is that if the situation hasn't improved enough, it would be for you to, instead of being in host families, being in single rooms with your own bathroom and your own kitchen space to be more safe. All right. So hopefully, if you're able to go into a host family, you will get to know each other very well. The families are responsible for 5 dinners and 7 breakfasts per week. Students make their own breakfast using food supply by the family. You also receive a meal stipend to cover 7 lunches and 2 weekend dinners. It's 8.5 euros per lunch, 15 euros per dinner. And what generally happens is that students save because it doesn't cost that much money to buy food in Paris, and then you can splurge on a fantastic aperitif or something with wine and cheese and charcuterie or other things. So talking a little bit about living and studying in Paris, I think we all have this those images, of this beautiful city, and this is definitely part of what Paris is. There are those, you can walk around next to the Seine and enjoy those beautiful buildings and landscape and La Tour Eiffel and so forth and so on. Well, I think one great aspect of the program is that we make sure that you have access to all the cultural offerings that exist in Paris. And I know that some of you mentioned that when you talked about why you were interested in the program. So the pictures that I'm showing to the right, does anyone know what it is? No? Yeah, Emily, do you want to give it a try?
Actually,
Go ahead. Go ahead.
No, I've actually forgotten the name, so go ahead.
L'Opéra de Garnier.
Yeah, exactly. It's l'Opéra Garnier, and the reason why I'm showing it is because when I visited Paris last year, I met with Leslie and I met with Marie-Madeleine. Students in a part of the program were about to go and see an opera there. I don't remember if it's an opera or a ballet, but this is definitely part of what you will have access to. There's also an amount of money that is that you have access to purchase opera tickets or tickets to go to museums and so forth and so on. When we think about Paris, we of course think about the lifestyle, and so we cannot avoid the little cafes, or the picture to the right is the Canal Saint-Martin, which is also a place where young people hang out and have a good time. And the food, obviously. So I'm gluten-free, so I showed also some macarons because there's no gluten in it, and I thought it was another nice picture in addition to the croissant and other things. But I think that this is not all that Paris is about, beyond the cliches of this very romantic and almost like perfect perfect city, very beautiful and so forth and so on. Paris is many other things. As those of you who've been studying French, I mean, you all have, so you know that this is a very diverse city as well. It is a city that is very committed to sustainability, which is really important for me being an ESNP faculty. Also, I'm sure you followed that there's been a number of important social movements in Paris in recent years. So there I showed you a picture of the Gilets jaunes. And also, I don't know if that's something that you follow, but the Black Lives Matter movement also have been really important in Paris, in France, and in Paris in particular. And I think all these social movements and what's happening within the French society will be particularly visible next year because it will be a presidential election year. And generally during those years, there's a lot of, I would say, compared to the other years, peaceful debates. So generally there are fewer strikes and social movements like the Gilets jaunes, but people really engage in a broad discussions and debates and process of reimagining the country. And I think it's such a particularly interesting time for being in this country and seeing what's happening. I think, Rob, you were in Paris during the previous election. Would you say that, was it your experience?
Oh yes, it's a fascinating time, and it's a very startling comparison with the way elections proceed in the United States. So yeah. It'll be pretty fascinating to be there, especially now.
Right. Yes. So that, I'm excited about that as well. And I just wanted to show you a few pictures also of the place where you might be studying. So this is a picture of La Sorbonne, which is one of the universities that where you could take courses. Another one is l'Université de Paris. So you see, Marie-Madeleine, I'm not calling it Paris Diderot anymore, I'm calling it l'Université de Paris. Some of you mentioned Sciences Po. So this is also a possibility for students who are interested in political science or economics or international relations. For students interested in architecture and art, we also have courses available in, I have all my stuff. I cannot see the name of the school. What's the name of the school? École d'Architecture de Paris? Is that the name of the school?
ENSA.
ENSA.
Mm-hmm.
It is École Nationale. The N is national.
Okay.
So it's a national school. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm trying to see my slides and you guys, and also the controls for Zoom. Everything is on my screen. All right. So the reason why we, those of us who have been director before or like the program so much is because it's very specific in so many different ways. So first, it's the oldest continuously running American program in Paris. And I think it's a strength because it means that we have a lot of experience, but we're also very aware of the fact that we need to evolve and change. And we're doing that with programs such as the Sciences à Paris, for instance. What is also very interesting is that each student develops a customized program of study in consultation with the academic director and their Smith advisor, both before departure and during your year abroad. So there are many, many opportunities for you to integrate this year within your major and continue to take courses that you will be able to count towards your major as well as elective courses. And also throughout the year, you pledge to only speak in French. So maybe this is the last time that you're actually hearing me speaking in English, because French will be our main language of interaction. It also will be how you will be communicating with each other. It's a year-long Francophone program open to students in all disciplines. It combines in-house courses that we teach at Reed Hall. I just wanted to give you a few examples of courses that we've taught before. For instance, a course titled Écriture académique en français, which teaches you how to write French essays for French universities. Really, like the way essays are written in French are completely different from the way essays are written in English. It was really hard for me when I, moved to the US to adjust to that. So you'll learn the other way around. Another course, for instance, is Le Paris Invisible, Morphological, Urban, and Sociological History. There are courses also that we offer as part of a consortium in partnership with Hamilton and Middlebury. So, for instance, one such courses is a course titled France-Europe, Chronique d'une relation tumultueuse, or La laïcité, which I think is going to be a fascinating course because it's so specific to France, and it's so also timely right now, given all the discussions about the freedom of speech and things that are happening in France. And then you will also be able to take courses at French universities and research institutions. And I only listed a few, but really the list of courses available to you are pretty much endless. And this is where you will be able to take courses that may count towards your major. All right, so other requirements. So you're required to take the appropriate in-house language course in your first semester, and then you are encouraged to do so in the second semester as well. Something I think that's really unique to the program in many ways is that this is not a bubble program. There are other study abroad programs where you will take courses in one place with other international students and you will stay within this bubble. Here, you're really encouraged to go and take courses in French universities with mostly French students, but what we do is that we provide a lot of support along the way. So we will hire tutors to help you with your courses. We will make sure that you don't fall behind, so that you have the time and space to be successful in your courses, but also to discover Paris and enjoy your experience abroad. And other requirements, there is a 1 credit mandatory orientation session that takes place at the beginning of the semester that is graded SU. And the normal course load consists of 4 credit courses per semester, in addition to the 1 credit mandatory orientation session, for a total of 33 credits for the year. So quite similar to what you would do at Smith. All students are enrolled either at the Paris-Sorbonne or at l'Université de Paris, and your principal field of study determines your university affiliation for the year. So Université de Paris is more geared towards the sciences, and Paris-Sorbonne is more geared towards the social sciences and humanities. And in addition, we have a limited number of slots, so 8 courses per academic year that are available at Sciences Po. And generally it would be courses that where students who have a good level in French will be most likely to succeed. So maybe these are courses that you could take your second semester if you're staying for a full year. And then architecture majors are also eligible for admission into l'École nationale supérieure d'architecture at the Val de Seine. And studio art courses are also offered at that school. So just to give you an example of what a path could be for a French Gov double major student. So these include some students that some courses that you would have taken at Smith, such as French 101 and 103. And French 220 and 230 you would have taken before going to Paris. And if I'm making mistakes, guys, please correct me. I'm talking to Rob or Mohammed or anyone else who's able to correct me. And then the courses that you would take in Paris are the JYA courses. So French JYA, Advanced French Language, French in its context, but you could also take, for instance, a Gov course on the European Union. You could also take a course that will count towards one of your electives, such as web objects. And then when you come back to Smith, you'll take more upper level French courses. So maybe we could talk about Les Sciences à Paris, and then we will ask if you guys have any questions. All right. So Rob, I'm controlling the PowerPoint, so just tell me when you want me to go to the next slide, okay?
Perfect, thank you. So I'll go quickly through this, folks, so that we can leave time for questions. But the Sciences à Paris program was essentially developed because a few years back, students were somehow asked when they got to campus whether they wanted to be STEM majors or spend a year in Paris, which seemed like asking somebody whether they preferred air or oranges. I've never quite understood why this was the choice. So we quite intentionally created a program to make it possible for students in Div 3 to go to Paris and to not have to put their major in suspended animation. It was also a very deliberate attempt, as I think one of you mentioned, to give you an opportunity to experience the scientific enterprise in a different context. And as many of you have heard me say, it's not because the gravitational constant in Paris is different than it is in Northampton. It is the same, but the practice of science is context dependent and culture and history dependent. So France has a very, very deep history of science and technology. And it's an opportunity, I think, for you guys to begin to train in doing science with an international team, which is likely to be where most of you who remain in the sciences will spend your careers. Can I have the next one, please? So the way it's organized is there's a year-long seminar, which is a combination of basic and applied knowledge. So it's a seminar that both helps you prepare your CV and land an internship or research internship in Paris. And unlike the way doing research at Smith works, where you look at the people in your department that are doing research, and then you rule out the ones that you've heard are difficult to work with, and then you pick from among the remaining 3. We consider every research lab in Paris a potential research site, and we ask you and help you contact these people, and the opportunities are amazing. Amazing. No matter what your field is in Div 3, there are really interesting laboratories doing really interesting work. The idea, of course, is not for you to go to Paris and take 8 science courses. That's insane, right? The idea is for you to combine coursework in your major with the kinds of courses that are either only available in Paris or are substantially more exciting if you take them in Paris on site. And so we work with you and we work with your advisor to try to figure out a program that lets you fully squeeze the juice out of the opportunity of being in Paris for a year and lets you move forward in your major. I'm going to take 1 second as a parenthesis to tell you that, as I think you know, next year, we are giving students the opportunity to only go for 1 semester. And of course, you should do what works best for you, but I will reiterate what I think all my colleagues will agree to. A year is not twice as good as a semester. A year is 10 times as good as a semester. So if there is any way for you to spend the whole year in Paris, spend the whole year in Paris. And for those of you who are seniors and who think, how can I possibly miss graduation? What I will tell you is that many years ago, when I graduated from college, I remember sitting at commencement and thinking, I will never forget this day. And about 10 years ago, somebody said to me, who was your commencement speaker, Rob? And I couldn't for the life of me remember who the commencement speaker was. You won't forget your year in Paris. You will forget stuff about commencement. So if you need to trade off the two, think hard about the year in Paris. The requirements for Sciences à Paris are the on-ramps are such that if you've only had 1 year of college French, there is a way for you to go through the Sciences à Paris program. It requires you to do much more intensive coursework in language in the first semester. Again, my advice to you is there is no such thing as too much French. So if you're thinking about going to Paris, take as much coursework as you can this semester, J-term, next semester, the summer, anywhere you possibly can, because the more French you know, the easier you're going to integrate into what's going on there. Next slide, please. So this is just a reminder of what I said. I think a typical semester should probably involve taking in the fall, the required French course, the seminar, and then maybe 1 or 2 courses that are directly related to your major. And in the spring, if I can have the next one, I think we have the spring. Yes. In the spring, you're gonna rotate a little bit more towards starting your research internship if that's possible. And of course, you would only be doing that on a part-time basis. For many of the students in Sciences à Paris, that part-time spring semester turns into full-time research work in the summer. So many of the students stay on in the summer and switch to a full-time research position at that point. Next slide, please. And so this just gives you, again, as Camille mentioned, there are many, many, many courses available, but you might, for example, take a course in physiology, a course in evolutionary biology, a course on immigration and sexuality. You would basically mix the courses that are relevant to your major with the courses that are either part of your education in the French major, if you are a double major, or just courses that take advantage of being in Paris. Next one, please. Back to you, Camille.
Well, I think you could say it also because you've directed the program 3 times, but really I think we want to insist on the fact that this program is really a chance to reinvent yourself and your intellectual ambitions. The main reason why I wanted to direct this program is because I've met so many students coming back from the JYA program being completely transformed, being grown ups, ready to go in the world, having experienced so many different situations, having found their passion, and also coming back, having a really clear plan of what they wanted to do after graduation. So I'm not telling you that for sure that this is what you're going to have when you're going to get in Paris. But I think I want to go back to what Rob said about spending a year long versus a semester. So there is kind of a trajectory to studying abroad. So first you arrive, it's a bit like college, first you arrive and you're so excited and everything is new. And that's maybe the first, month and a half. And then things start to get difficult because even though Paris in many ways is culturally similar to the US, it is different in many ways. And so your everyday life environment and also your the university environment will be very different, and it will take some work to adjust to that. And then it is only after, I think, maybe 3 or 4 months that then you can really get into something that you're passionate about, really discover what Paris is about. So it is a trajectory and a journey that can be painful at times, even though I think it's completely worth it because you go through this journey a better person, a more secure person who has a clearer plan of what they want in their life. And Rob, do you think I'm overselling this, or do you agree? You're muted.
I think you're underselling it. I will say it even more forcefully. I guarantee you will come back a different person. because among other things, with the best of intentions, American universities treat you or appear to treat you sometimes like you're an oversized teenager, and all of the people that surround you and make sure that everything is okay unintentionally can sometimes infantilize you. When you get to Paris, Marie-Madeleine and Camille are amazing, but they have no ability or interest in playing the role of 18 deans. And so the kind of independence and self-reliance that you have in Paris is really empowering. And I think what Camille says in this slide is right, which is it's kind of an interesting opportunity to really figure out who you are and how you're going to be in the world and what it's like to have agency over your intellectual life. And so the French system is very different from the American system. And I think the Paris program prides itself in not trying to shield you from the kind of autonomy and independence that you're ready for, and instead to encourage it. And it does change your life.
All right. So I would like to conclude with a short video. Yeah.
Sorry, Camille, sorry for interrupting, but Mohammed has his hand up. I don't know that you can.
I'm sorry, I didn't see it. Go ahead, Mohammed.
That's fine. I just wanted to say something based on what you said about a transformation and a reinvention. So when I directed the program, the first month, and Marie-Madeleine will remember this, there was a little bit maybe of like disorientation, a little bit of homesickness. People were clinging to the sort of library and study space that we have at Reed Hall. But after that month, we were trying to almost like mother birds, like push the students out of the nest. And they didn't need much encouragement because the second month, we barely saw them. And there was just such a sea change, and they became sort of like creatures of the streets and creatures of the night, and had their own lives. And you would ask them how they're doing, and they kind of wouldn't share. And so you knew they had this whole other life that really flowered in Paris. And the thing I want to say about the second semester, so yes, we have this exceptional circumstance where you can go for a semester. But I really want to say that it's in the second semester that students become fluent, nearly fluent, I would say. And there's this sort of breakthrough that happens where like the tongue is untied and they can just speak and have conversations, and every situation and text is intelligible to them. So I think that's why it's worth it, even though it might be difficult to place all the courses in your in sort of your best laid plans, right? Last thing I want to mention is that when you come back from Paris, usually you only have to take 2 classes to become a French major. So that's me wearing my French hat. I just want to let you know how easy it is to become a French major after coming back. And then I'll shut up now.
No, I'm sorry I didn't see your hand, Mohammed, but thank you so much for sharing this. Leslie, do you want to add to what we've said already about how transformative the program is?
Sure. Is this your last slide, or do you have more slides?
Well, then I have the video that I want to show, the video that you made.
Okay. Yes. And the video I made with Simran and Karia. Okay. Yeah. I think that's a good testament to how important it is to stay longer. We made a video with 2 students who came back this fall because they could do their work, from Paris. And so they were taking classes at Smith, but they were here until we went back into COVID lockdown. But they both came back because they said, we had to leave in March and that wasn't enough time. We need more time to be here. And I just couldn't agree more with the importance of staying all year. It's just absolutely magical. And it's the language, but it's also a lot of other stuff that happens. As Rob was saying, the independence you gain and the sort of sense of confidence that comes with spending a year in a metropolitan area that's complex and multifaceted. And so I would just really just second, third, fourth, what they all said about staying as long as you can. Stay a year if you possibly can.
Marie-Madeleine, thank you, Leslie.
Yes.
And for the video in a second.
Yes, and I would like to add that there's a difference between being a tourist student and a real student. And this is the difference when there's a year-long program or semester program. I mean, it's completely different. The way the students are implied in they are implied in their studies, implied in their life. Second semester is very, very different because students have their own activities, they have their own lives, and sometimes when they go back to Smith, they feel that the campus is very, very small compared to what they were used to.
Thank you, Marie-Madeleine. So let's hear from those students who came back in a pandemic time because they wanted to be in Paris so much. And thank you so much, Leslie, for putting together this video. I hope the sound is going to work. And then we'll have some time for a Q&A after that.
Hi, everybody. My name is Leslie King. I'm a sociology professor, and last year I was faculty director of Smith's JYA program. And I'm saying hi from a cafe in the heart of Paris, and I'm sitting here with 3 Smith in Paris alumni.
Hi, I'm Simran. I'm a sociology major. I'm a senior.
Hi, everyone. I'm Kalia. I'm from Connecticut, and I'm a quantitative economics major. And I came to Paris from my JYA because it's the best program at Smith.
Hi, I'm Janan. I'm a class of 2019 grad, and I did the junior year in Paris, my junior year, obviously. The JYA program here in Paris is the best for multiple reasons. One is obviously the cultural exchange. You get to live with a host family. It's incredible getting to learn the language directly from them, getting to use Smith's resources here in Paris to use the funds to go to concerts, cultural events, museums, travel, doing trips, champagne tastings, but also you get to learn directly from the Sorbonne or Diderot. The classes at the Smith in Paris Center are great as well. Paris is like you could live in the city for 20 years and there's always going to be something new to do. Like there's so many things to do in the city. Like just stay in Paris and like see as much as you possibly can, because there's just so much to see and so many different things to do.
I completely agree with Simran. Like there's so many nooks and crannies of this like beautiful city, so many museums, so many restaurants to eat at, so many bars to explore, so much art to see. Like if I was you, I'd take like every single weekend, just try to walk around a part of an arrondissement and just like explore the city little by little, chunk by chunk, and it will feel like you've traveled all over the world.
Academics, go.
Boom. So of course, a part of studying abroad is studying. I know we want the study to be silent, but it's not. And in other places, it's more explained, but here at Smith in Paris, Smith really makes sure that the studies are balanced and they're great, interesting courses. Like our favorite course with Boniface Mongo, he taught
a lot of classes on immigration and colonization in France, and you get to take these classes at Reed Hall, which is the Columbia Centers where they have all of the classes for Smith students, Columbia students, master's students, and the building is beautiful, and you get to take half of your classes there if you want, or all of them. It's a beautiful space in the 6th arrondissement.
And not only that, but Smith makes sure you're supported along the way. You get tutors for all your classes outside of Smith and inside of Smith. A lot of my friends that went to other programs were struggling with their studies. They didn't have time to travel to drink champagne because they were studying. But Smith made sure that I was helped. I had tutors helping me with the material, with my language skills, and that my courses weren't taken away from my experience. And that's why you should come here to the Smith Study Abroad program.
All right. Thank you again, Leslie, for sharing this awesome video.
My pleasure.
We should have just showed just that, you know. All right, so Lisa just shared with us the deadline for applications. You want to say a few words about that, Lisa, and how application works, and then maybe we'll have some time for Q&A. Are you muted?
Sorry. I also included links about to the Smith and Paris website. So a lot of information that was shared today is also on the website and in perhaps a little bit more detail. So be sure that you're reading up on that. I also included the link to how to apply to the program. The application deadline is February 1st of 2021. That will be before the start of spring semester classes. So be sure to, if you want to, you can, the application is live right now, so you can start it at any time. But just make sure that you're submitting it before that February 1st deadline. The application includes some short answer questions that you need to answer, a statement that needs to be written in French, and you'll also need to request an academic recommendation as well as a French language recommendation. And the last piece of the application is you need to submit a plan of study, and that plan helps you map out your 8 semesters at Smith and fit study abroad into that. And it's a really important tool to help you with that. With that said, remember, it's a plan. It's not etched in stone, and it can change over time, and it's meant to change over time. If you're a sophomore and you haven't declared your major, you will want to do that by the end of the semester, because one of the eligibility requirements to be accepted to the Smith and Paris program and to study abroad in general is to have declared your major. And I can also put here in the link or in the chat in just a minute, a link to all of the eligibility requirements.
Thank you very much, Lisa. I also shared in the link a great video that Mohammed made with 2 alumni from the program. So you have a link to that if you want to hear more about the program from alumni. And now we have some time for Q&A. Do we have some time, Lisa? Can we take some time for Q&A?
Yeah, sure. I've got about, I have 1:09, so we have about 5 minutes, 6 minutes.
Okay.
We've answered all the questions.
We're too enthusiastic. We're overburdened the students.
Any meeting that has, you know, an equal number of directors and students is probably going to be a little scary, but these are not scary people.
Yeah, you're bound to be wondering things. I see Sophia.
There's a question.
Danielle, I see Danielle Amparado has her hand raised. And then Leslie, did you say Sophia had a question too?
Yes, she does too.
Yeah, I cannot see the hands because I'm not the host. That's why. Yeah, Sophia and then Danielle.
Yeah, so I was wondering how it would look like if a student went to Sciences Po in the fall. Would they have to take their language course at the Smith Center? And if it was divided between students, would that mean you would take your courses at like 3 different places? I hope that makes sense.
Yeah, Mohammed, do you want to answer that?
Yeah, so let me give you an example. So first semester, everyone, no matter their ability level, has to take a French class. Then you are going to, let's say, take 1 to 2 courses at Sciences Po. If, you know, the priority goes to you, if you're a gov major, econ major, that's where, that's how we sort of divvy up the courses, and we try to accommodate everyone for Sciences Po. And then you might take your remaining courses. There's other courses at Reed Hall, but there are also courses in the consortium. And so the consortium is a different location. It's the Middlebury site. Is that still correct?
Yes.
Okay. So yes, 3 locations, but the Middlebury site is not that far away. Sciences Po is not that far away. I think the maximum commute would be 20 to 25 minutes between Reed Hall and any of these places. So it sounds like a lot. You do have to watch out for course conflicts when you are divvying up your courses in this way, because all the other university students are only taking their courses at that institution. So that's something you have to be mindful of.
So it's a bit like the the consortium that we have in the Valley, where you could take some classes at Smith and some classes at UMass, and then you would travel between the different places.
but with much better public transportation.
When there are no strikes, obviously.
When there are no strikes.
Yeah. Sophia, did we answer your question?
Yeah, thank you so much.
Marie-Madeleine, you wanted to add something?
Yeah, and as I always say, Paris is a small city. Even with strikes, students walk, and it walks like 30 minutes, an hour of walking when it strikes. But it's a small city where a lot of things. I mean, it's easy to go from one point to another.
All right. Danielle, you had a question as well?
Yeah, I did. Sorry. I was wondering, like, I know that a lot of like the benefits, like getting to speak French and also like being immersed in Paris, are kind of like dependent on like the interactions you have as well with everyone there. So I was just wondering, I don't know a lot about how Paris is handling like how strict its lockdowns are. So if we were to go there, assuming like it would be good enough for like the situation would be fine enough for us to go there, but would like the city be handling it so that we would be able to visit like museums or like take advantage of all the opportunities that you were telling us about earlier?
So I can take a first stab at it, and then if Marie-Madeleine, Lisa, or Leslie, or anyone else want to add to what I'm going to say. So we're planning this, hoping and also strongly hoping that the situation will be much improved in the fall, right? So now there is a lockdown in France. It's not the lockdown that was implemented in March in the spring. It's many businesses are open. People can go out for many more reasons. I'm in France right now, so I can tell you. But we're hoping that the situation will be much improved. And what we will do is that we will adjust the program as a response to the situation and how the virus is doing and which vaccines we have access to and so forth and so on. So it's really hard to tell you right now, but that's my answer. It may be unsatisfactory. Would someone like to add something to that?
I think you nailed it. I mean, the answer is there's no way to know for sure what's going to happen. So I think that everyone who's planning for the program will try to, as best as they can, to plan for various contingencies. But, you know, if there's a huge unexpected wave of COVID that, you know, comes through, you know, we'll have to play it by ear, like we did in the spring when actually the program was suspended.
Lisa?
I would also just add, as was mentioned, we're planning for different scenarios, and even if, and we are planning for scenario where there might be curfews, or there might be limited mobility, but even limited mobility doesn't mean no mobility. And so I think, Danielle, in answer to your question in terms of language acquisition and interaction, there will be some, without a doubt. I mean, you still, and correct me if I'm wrong, for those of you who are or we're in Paris now, you still have to go to the grocery store maybe and buy your groceries, or you still have to go and do some just basic daily needs. And even if it's going to the local bread shop to get your baguette, so there will be some, and even in the worst case scenario, there will be some limited interaction. So I don't think that it's realistic, and nor does Smith really want a study abroad program where the students are enclosed in their rooms doing all their courses online without being able to really have a study abroad experience. So I don't know if that helps a lot.
And also next year, we will have almost 2 years of experience of dealing with COVID as a program. And we're going to do our best to give you the best experience possible. To maybe if you cannot go to the museum, but can we try to have the museum come to us, in some ways, and meet with artists and read hall, or we're thinking about a lot of different ways to still make it a great experience for you. Danielle, did we answer your question? I know it may not be fully satisfactory.
No, you did. Thank you. Thank you.
Do we have time for maybe one more question? And then you're welcome to email any of us if you have more questions. All right. Yes.
Yeah, I was just wondering about engineering courses and if there's like a place where I could find like what courses might be offered.
Rob, do you want to take this?
So what you want to do, Lynette, is drop me a line and I will connect you to the, the French equivalent of the dark web, which is where French universities hide their course offerings. So this goes for all the students in Paris. One of the many benefits of going to Paris is that you will never, ever complain about banner web when you come back. Because whatever the shortcomings of banner web, once you've experienced the French system, no more complaints. But those of us who are involved in the program know how to get to these secret locations where the courses are available. So if you drop me a note, I'll send you some links. And again, I'm happy to work with any one of you who wants to think a little bit about what courses make sense. We have some experience, obviously, with certain courses. We don't know all of them, but we know many of them, and we're happy to try to guide you in the right direction.
Rob, do you want to mention a few of those courses just to give everyone?
Sure. I mean, my general recommendation is you want to stay away from first-year courses because the French system works slightly differently. Everybody who passes the bac can go to college in France. And while that seems like a stunningly egalitarian system, the reality is that the big sort of grim reaper is between the first and the second year. So in the first year, you tend to be in very, very large courses with a certain number of students who aren't really sure why they're there or how this works. So we tend to suggest that you look at second and third year courses. And for some of you, first year master's courses are certainly within reach. And so for the engineering curriculum, I think what I would probably be looking at are things that the engineering major counts as electives. And that may be anywhere from, material science kinds of courses to, sort of fabrication or biologically inspired design kind of courses that are available at the university and that are really quite easy to integrate with the curriculum of the engineering department.
Thank you everyone for, Mohammed, yes.
No, I just wanted to tell you, I had an environmental engineering student and she took thermodynamics to help, which was accepted by the engineering department as I don't even think it was an elective. I think it was replacing something that was fundamental for their major. So it's also a conversation you need to have with the engineering department and the study abroad advisor in that department.
I'm adding my email to the chat. So thank you everyone so much for joining us today. Please don't hesitate to reach out to any of us. I think the fact that we're all here shows how committed we are to the program. If you have any questions or if you would like to schedule a Zoom meeting with us, I'm personally very much looking forward to working with you next year and being with you. And that's it. I think that this concludes our meeting. Thank you, Lisa, for organizing it.
My pleasure.
Thank you guys for coming.
Thank you.
Good to see everybody.
Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye.